Ball.
Thank you, sir. It's a pleasure to rise on behalf of New Zealand First to address this bill. We will be opposing the bill for a couple of very good reasons. Before I get into the reasons why, sir, I'd like to go back to the actual speech that the Deputy Prime Minister gave today, delivering better public services. If we put aside for a second the actual public service targets that this government has, that they established in 2008, that they have never had independently reviewed, that I have asked questions of both Minister Tolley and the Minister of Finance to have these targets reviewed and refused. Put that aside. There's a quote here that I'd like to share from the speech earlier on today that I think gives a definite perspective about the priority that this government has. And it goes like this, sir. We're willing to pay a bit more upfront to get real, sustainable change, and in doing so, we can generate significant long-term savings for the Crown. So in the same sentence, in the same breath, we have Mr English purporting that the intent of his bill is to have some real sustainable change for the future. But in the same breath, he is mentioning the long-term savings for the Crown. So what this, and that set up the theme for his speech, sir, today, under delivering better public services for this country. Because in every single sentence that he had, every single paragraph, it was about cost-cutting, it was about saving, it was about dressing up the real needs and the real changes that need to happen for solving child poverty as one of the major priorities that he said that was going to have, into cost-cutting measures and saving, long-term savings for the Crown. I'd like to also put a little bit of perspective in it, in this bill, sir, and the speech that Mr English gave today by using a little bit of a measuring stick. In regards to the child hardship package, which recognises the lower income working parents, the total package is around $240 million in each full year. The measuring stick that I'd like to use, sir, is the flag referendum, which costs just under $30 million. That's more than 10% that this total package is going to cost each year. Where is the priority for this government? He goes on to say that the budget also provides new operating fund of $36 million. We've got a flag referendum of just under $30 million. Where is the priority for this government in dealing seriously with child hardship? We have new funding for the existing children's team that he was talking about. It gives an extra $23 million. That's even less than what's going towards the flag referendum. So where is the priority that Mr English purported he had for solving child poverty, for giving more to the needy in our country? New Zealand First says that it evaporated as soon as he opened his mouth. The questions that came out of both the bill, sir, and of the speech that was delivered today was, first of all, why have these changes occurred? So first of all, was it because there was a need for it to occur? Was it because the government can now afford it to occur? Or was it because the government really has no choice but to make those changes now? And what rolls out of that is, why has it taken 7 years in government for these changes to occur? Increasing the minimum benefit levels is a step in the right direction, sir, as we've heard from a couple of colleagues in the House already. But the steps that have been taken, is it enough? And of course it's not. New Zealand First believes that there should be a minimum social floor that no one should fall below. It shouldn't be a reward, it shouldn't be a punishment. And that's what's happening at the moment. That's what this government delivered in the budget speech today. The benefits should be a safety net, it should be strong, it should have integrity, and it should have the ability to not allow people to slip through and live in poverty. And that's what's happening right now, and that's what will happen even after these budget changes occur.
That's right. Hear, hear.
The government has the absolute responsibility to not allow supported poverty to occur. That's what's been happening, and that's why it will continue to happen with this budget. The Minister also talked about investment in the front end. And I'd like to quote Sir. We are willing to pay, like I said before, to get a bit more upfront, real sustainable change. But what this is plugging the gap. We've heard about a plaster over a wound, but this is plugging a gap with the minimum amount of financial assistance. This is addressing the symptoms, it is not addressing the causes. New Zealand First believes that the major priority should be investing in the front end before individuals need to end up caught in that safety net. The priority should be investing in our youth and our young people, especially the unemployed youth and young people. That is the front end investment. KiwiSaver Kickstart is an example of front end investment, and now that's gone. Job creation for our young people is front end investment, and now that's gone. What we have here is a carrot and stick approach from this government. It is quite simple, sir. Unemployed youth, which are at one of the highest levels that we have had and are steady and have not changed over the last 7 years that it's been in government, unemployed youth will become unemployed adults. And as the Minister said today himself, 2/3 of all children in material hardship are living with a parent on a benefit. So that's the end result. That's the symptom. So why is this government concentrating on the end symptom and not the cause, and not investing in the real front end of this issue? I'd also like to talk about, sir, just mentioning the working for families earning $36,000 a year. So low-income working families earning $36,000 a year before tax will get $12.50 extra a week. But what does that mean in real terms? That's just over 1% increase. So if we compare that with, for example, the cost of fruit and veggies, that's increased by 5% in just the last 12 months.
That's right.
Where is the priority for this government? These restrictions that are being put in place for people on the benefit are a cost-saving measure dressed up as help and encouragement. With the sole parent restrictions, in fact, the sole parents, these are the groups that are getting the positive results right now. They have the highest amount of exits off that benefit and the lowest number of entry. And what the government wants to do is make the sole parent benefit like the job seeker benefit. But the job seekers are one of the worst results that we are having, sir.
Yes, you're right.
Where is the logic in that? And Carmel Sepuloni mentioned about the impact for parents having to go back to work when their child is 3 and not 5. And if we take a step back for a second and forget about whether that's the right or the wrong thing to do, but if we answer, what is the social impact for that child?
That's right. You're here.
For that parent to leave that household from at 3 years old instead of 5 years old, what is the social cost for that child?
Huge.
And once that government answers that question, they will also see the priority that they have when dealing with child poverty and the needy and the vulnerable children in our society. Like I said, sir, the increase to the benefit is part of the solution. It's not a plan, and it is not the answer. I'm looking forward to discussing this in the Social Services Select Committee robustly, but at this stage, sir, New Zealand First cannot support this bill.
Todd Muller.
Mr. Speaker, what a privilege to be able to stand